In 1936, Alan Turing published an important theory that underpinned computer science. But from the theory of Alan Turing to the production of modern computers that we commonly use today is going through many stages and requires the intelligence and creativity of some of the most important people, especially Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955 in San Francisco, California, United States. A person who is generally known as a successful businessman with billions of dollars and a highly creative leader. There are so many new technologies that have completely changed the way we live and communicate with almost everyone. Today, in fact, personal life is full of complexity, especially from childhood. Steve was a child who was abandoned by his parents in the womb. Steve is the name given to him by his adoptive parents, and Joe is also the family name of his adoptive parents, his father, Paul. Jobs used to work in the Coast Guard with mechanical skills and later left the Coast Guard to work as a car mechanic, buy a car used and repaired for sale. His mother, Clara Jobs, is a descendant of an Armenian immigrant. They both wanted to have children but could not because of Clara's health problems. Steve's biological father, Abdul Fattah Jandali, is a descendant of Muslims of Syrian descent. His mother, Joanne Schiebel, was the son of a wealthy German Catholic of German descent. Abdul Fattah and Joan love each other, but Joan's parents strongly oppose marriage because Abdul Fattah is a Muslim. In 1954, Joan was overweight but could not marry because she was afraid her parents would cut her off and lose the right to inherit millions of dollars. At the same time, having an abortion is difficult because of the strict Catholic family. Joan also decided to keep the baby until it was born, but to adopt it, with Joan setting one of the main conditions: that foster parents must be college graduates. Initially, when the child was not yet born, Joan agreed to take the child to the family as a lawyer. But when the child was born, the son of a lawyer and his wife, who wanted a daughter, suddenly changed his mind and refused to adopt the child, and the son fell, reaching the hands of Paul and Clara Chap, who did not even finish high school. Because of this, Joan initially refused to sign the adoption letter until several weeks later and went through a series of lawsuits. In court, Joan agreed to sign after Paul and Clark promised to save at least some money for his son's education until high school. Stephen Paul Jobs is the full name given to Paul and Clark after his son was adopted. Do not hide from your children that they are not biological parents, just adoptive parents. As a 6-7-year-old, Steve was so upset that he ran to his parents to cry. That he is a child that parents do not want and abandon to be adopted. But as he grew older, Steve Jobs claimed that he never felt abandoned because his adoptive parents nurtured the stone class and give him love like a child, and for him as well. Always consider Paul and Clara Chap like their biological parents. Steve Jobs grew up in a neighborhood commonly known as the home of a new technology company, Silicon Valley. The tech industry in the United States began to experience remarkable growth since the end of World War II. Many young entrepreneurs are also interested in this technology, but at first, they do not have the right place to work. Some take garage and house to be a place to study and experiment with technology and create new products to do business. David Parkard and Bill Hewlett were among the founders of the tech company behind the in-house garage, Hewlett-Packard, commonly known as HP. Shortly afterwards, Seeing the growth of this field of technology, Stanford University established a site on an area of about 8 hectares to young entrepreneurs use it as a place to study, research, and do business on new technologies. This technology district is growing rapidly, and the most advanced technology at that time was the production of semiconductors using silicon. That is why this neighborhood is called Silicon Valley until today. Steve Jobs was a kid growing up in Silicon Valley. By the time Steve Jobs was 10, HP had grown into a tech giant with about 9,000 employees. Steve's mother is a Silicon Valley worker, and most of the people around her are tech workers. Steve Jobs once said that growing up in this tech district had a profound effect on his mindset. It made him obsessed with technology, wanting to do business in technology and wanting to be a part of Silicon Valley.